Now, before the reshuffle was announced, Parliament's Public Accounts Committee met examining new details about the separation package paid out to PETROJAM's former Human Resource Manager, Yolande Ramrak. The details were given when Prime Minister Andrew Holness, as promised, tabled a number of documents in Gordon House on Tuesday, outlining details which raised new questions. Now, TVJ's Andrea Chisholm has been following that story. You attended that sitting. What can you tell us?
Well, Janella, I can tell you that the management of PETROJAM came under pressure today at the PAC to explain several decisions at the state-run oil refinery. But let's begin with the performance incentive to Yolande Ramrak.
47%. That's the score on Yolande Ramrak's appraisal for the 2017-2018 fiscal year. Yet, the former Human Resources Manager of PETROJAM got roughly $2.75 million as a performance incentive. General Manager Winston Watson admits the score is unsatisfactory, but argued that once PETROJAM makes a profit, employees get an incentive. PAC member Peter Bunting was not impressed.
So, I mean, if this person had got 95%, they would own PETROJAM?
Well, as I said, it's linked to your salary and your score. And it's a mathematical formula, and that's what it comes.
But score less than 50% and you still earn 2.7. What if she had scored 95 or 100%? What would it have been?
Next issue, the difference in Ramrak's compensation package. The PAC reported on February 5 that the gross settlement was $9.2 million. But 1 week later, a ministry paper put the gross payout at about $13.4 million, roughly $4 million more than was first reported. Cue the rebuttal from Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Sansia Bennett-Templer.
The lump sum figure, as would have been shown in terms of a settlement figure, also in the ministry paper that would have been presented yesterday, is, as we have been discussing, 8 months' salary.
That total, she said, plus other entitlements, would push the gross figure to the stated $13.4 million.
So I am sorry if there was a misunderstanding last week, but I will ask for the statements from Hansel.
I must just tell you, I was very present, and I don't know if anybody else felt differently. And I'm not making any allegations about motive or anything, but it was definitely presented to us at the time that the 9.2 was the gross figure.
Up next, the mysterious case of 2 offer letters. Last year, Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee was given Ramrak's contract showing a compensation package of about $10.6 million. But in Parliament on Tuesday, the document tabled put the figure at roughly $13 million, prompting this reaction from PAC member Dr. Morris Guy.
I'm flabbergasted. I am disoriented. I do not know where and who to believe now.
PAC Chairman Mark Golding.
Why was the wrong letter tendered to the PAAC with a lower figure, and why did it take PETROJAM 6 months to correct that matter?
Former Acting General Manager Telroy Morgan explains that he submitted the first letter with the $10.6 million figure, as well as the payroll change form reflecting the salary increase for Yolande Ramrak.
The process with any changes at the refinery speaks to the same payroll change form. That is what is utilized. I wasn't privy at any time for any new letter. I didn't know there was a new letter that was generated. I'm only hearing about this new letter for the first time today.
The PAC was told that the approximately $13 million figure as tabled by the Prime Minister was correct. Nonetheless, these questions.
What was the final salary used to compute the HR manager's separation?
Is it a fact or is it not a fact that the final salary for the recently terminated HR manager was $16 million total?
The committee was promised definitive answers, but Ms. Ramrak also received a 14% salary increase over 2 years based on PETROJAM's wage agreement for workers.
PAC member Peter Bunting also questioned the cost-benefit analysis which helped to determine a settlement package for the former Human Resources Manager of PETROJAM. Based on that analysis, PETROJAM said it would save over $25 million if the company settled with Ms. Ramharak and there was no hearing or case at the Industrial Disputes Tribunal IDT. Now, Mr. Bunting said based on the 19 disciplinary charges against Ms. Ramharak and the termination clause of her contract, he shared the view that PETROJAM would not lose at the IDT. PETROJAM's attorney Tamara Robinson explains that the company got legal advice.
And the legal advice was that the IDT is very employee-centric. There is almost a bias towards the employee, and even the slightest procedural breach can tip the scales in favor of the employee.
Moving on to the termination of the contract of Rosalie Scott Heron, and she's also a former Human Resources Manager at PETROJAM. That case is now at the IDT. Ms. Robinson said that PETROJAM's former General Manager, Floyd Grindley, decided to terminate the services of Mrs. Scott Heron, and PETROJAM did not comply with the Labor Relations Code.
I learned of Mrs. Scott Heron's termination while I was on vacation. When I returned to work in January, I indicated to the former general manager that the law does not permit summary dismissal in the manner that he had done it. He was not receptive to the advice.
In addition, she suggested that Mr. Grindley get outside counsel to update him on the labor code, but that did not happen. Archie, it's back to you.